My name is Jignesh.
My name is Nishant. Our topic for today is Python language. The reason we chose Python is because I was personally think that Python would be really helpful in later on classes such as 450. I heard from people that they do need some kind of Python knowledge to do a network server and stuff. So, and also another reason we chose Python is basically we almost learn like most of the languages, let's say, Java, C, C++, F sharp, C sharp, SQL. So that's another reason we choose Python. I also wanted to uh, get some knowledge on Python.
So first, we're gonna jump straight to a demo. We're gonna show you some of the built-in functionality for Python. For Python, we can just run Python straight. We don't have to make any files or nothing for simple programming, like for simple demonstrations. So we're gonna give you a couple of things that we thought it was interesting and different than from the other languages. So let's say we're gonna start programming. Let's say we declare two variables and we can assign multiple things in um, multiple variable to have different values in one straight line. You don't have to explicitly say x equals this and y equals this in different lines, or it doesn't need any semicolon. The other thing is we can just we can display the values we assign. We can also say we can also redeclare the variables to hold something else. So let's say in this case I assign hello to be x and y to be 1. As you can see here, when I type x and y, it displays the value that it holds. In C, in C++, any other language, if we try to do this in different language, it will definitely give us an error. The other thing we can do is, let's say we declare an array of 1, 2, 3, and we say b equals a. So all I'm doing is I'm assigning a. In Python, everything is object. So we create an object that holds 1, 2, 3, and then I'm creating another variable b, and I'm setting it equal to a. So basically, all it's doing is pointing to the first object that was created. So if I go ahead and add something onto the object a, let's just do change object b and add 4 to it. Now if I print out a, it's going to have the 4 because it's basically pointing to the same object. They're both the same object. Um, the other interesting thing I know or I liked about Python was that we can have, let's say in beginning we said x equals 1. I mean x equals hello and y equals 1. So if I say print x times 3 plus y, it'll give me an error. But if I say y equals um, let's say world, then now if I do the same statement again, it'll give me hello, hello, hello world. So basically you can multiply the strings. That's just something new in Python that we couldn't do before. Uh, the other thing The other interesting thing I found in Python is, uh, you know how in C and C any other language that a function can return only one thing. Let me demonstrate something that I also found interesting for Python is you can actually return more than one thing. So let's just say I'm gonna say x return x times 2 and x times 3. So now when I call the functions, cube of 3, let's say for the value a, I'm expecting it to be 3 to the second power, so it should be 9, and b to that's going to be 3 to the third power, 27. Other than that, we also found interesting stuff is I'm gonna compare some code from C So basically I'm doing is I'm creating a struct of tuples and I'm assigning the value. C is not so simple. And all this program does is creates a tuple of the strings and it prints it out. So if I run this, I should get the string that were assigned from start to the end. So let's say that out. C is not so simple. So and then if I create the same program, same thing, and for Python, it would have, I would say, a tuple equals uh, Python comma 1. So it's basically holding two values in each element. Python 1, 2, 3. I just added 1, 2, 3 for just a heck of it. So when I want to print it, I say for I for every element in the tuple. Print the I 0th element, which is the string. So let's run this file. Let's say Python tube.py, and it was print out Python is simple. Going back to the presentation, the things we found out during this presentation is, or during our demo, is Python is it could be used for general purpose programming.
So what is Python? So Python is general purpose programming language, interpreted high level programming language also, and Python is also a dynamic language. So why we chose Python? So Python is used for general purpose programming. Also Python supports multiple programming paradigms such as object oriented programming, imperative programming, and functional programming. Python has interpreters available for multiple operating system. Since Python uses interpreters, it does not need to be compiled.
So what it does is it whenever we want to run the file or the Python code, all we have to do is just interpret it, not run it through any compilers or anything else. So Python, as we saw in the demo, x equals 10, what we have here on the picture right here in the corner, which is assigning the x to 10. So the type of the x is, it's basically when we interpret it, it will just automatically decide what that x is going to be. And also, like if we can also like reassign the same variables to hold a different stuff. So like first we said x equals 10, so it's a int. But then if we say x equals hello, now it turns into a string. So this concludes
that Python is easy to learn and also built in high level data type.
so the other thing is the Python is really good for education purposes. Is it's really easy for new programmers or a new person to read someone's code because it's very simple. It does not have many curly braces or anything. It's really readable. Also, the memory management for Python is also like it's also garbage collected. Basically, whenever we don't need, we go the interpreter will automatically remove the the allocated memory that you needed that you used for the program. The other thing is the Python is also portable. So basically, once you write the code in Python, you can port it over to a different machine, and you don't have to do anything to it. You can just basically interpret it, and it will run completely fine. The other thing we found is Python is used at many different big companies such as Google. Python is also among the top 10 in popularity in 2016 for coding wise. And this concludes our video and presentation.